Hello, dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram. I know I have been very irregular. I probably am not living to the title of this daily cricket show. So from now on, I'm not going to term this as a daily cricket show. I'm just going to term this as just a cricket show from host Ram due to a lot of commitments here. Now, let's talk about today now. As far as today's cricket show, what I have for you today, this show is going to all my loyal followers, and I regret that I'm not able to live up to the title of the daily cricket show. But I always make an effort. But sometimes, as I said, time becomes a big constraint nowadays. Well. Just going forward here, let me say what I have in store for you. Well, India went on to level the T20 series against New Zealand with the final one still to come. So that should be a real humdinger according to me between India and New Zealand, and which I'll be talking about in a brief manner. And then we have a look at a brief look, I would say, at the Bangladesh Premier League, which ended with Comillia the Comillia Victorians beating the Dhaka Dynamites in the final to lift the Bangladesh Premier League trophy for the second time, and it was fashioned by star batsman Tamim Iqbal, who absolutely went berserk at the Comillia Victorians, at the Dhaka Dynamites bowling, who were probably the favourites to win the match, as Tamim Iqbal tore into them and tore their attack to absolute shreds, as he picked up 141 runs to be the star of this the Bangladesh Premier League finals in 2019. So congratulations to the Comillia Victorians for picking up their second Bangladesh Premier League title. And in the Big Bash League in Australia, we had a wonderful match where Max Bryant and Ben Cutting were simply electric as they finished off the other team. We are talking about the Brisbane Heat and Melbourne Stars, where for the Brisbane Heat it was real heat coming in when they faced the Melbourne Stars at the Gabba in Brisbane, with the Brisbane Heat wiping off the score of Melbourne Stars, which is 156 for 8 in just 10 overs, with some cracking stuff coming from the openers. It was Ben Cutting along with the young Max Bryant, who really, I would say, as I said, it was electric batting from Max Bryant and Ben Cutting opening the innings. They went at a clip of 15.8, so that should really give you a sense of how electric it was. And then England and West Indies once again battled it out. England would be playing for lost prestige here, and they would be hoping to win at least one test match here. They have one inherent advantage, I would say, with the West Indian captain Jason Holder not being able to play, and just wanting to say that tomorrow will be the third test match, which will be starting at St. Lucia between England and the West Indies, which should be, and West Indies would definitely be eyeing a clean sweep. Yes, after Jason Holder not being there really cripples them, because he has been contributing in all the departments of the game, and as a captain he has done wonderful work to get West Indies to a 2-0. The first time that England have suffered at the hands of the West Indies. And that to a clean sweep, definitely on the cards, looking at the way the West Indians are playing. So let's talk about the game now. So first I'm going to go to the India versus New Zealand match. We are talking about the second T20 where India leveled the series. Well, it all started off with let's see who won the toss. Now this was played at the Basin Reserve in the New Zealand were the ones who actually won the toss, and they elected to bat first. As I said, this was played not at Basin Reserve. I'm sorry, extremely sorry about that. The match was played at Auckland, and New Zealand actually were the ones who actually batted first, and they put on 158 for 8. Just looking at the card there, Tom Seifert, who did a wonderful job the other day and was a surprise packet, was made to struggle by the Indians, and then Kumar was the proud recipient of the wicket of Tom Seifert, who was sent back pretty easily for just 12 runs, which he made of as many balls with 1-4 and 1-6. Colin Munro could contribute only 12 runs. Now, Krunal Pandya was the wrecker-in-chief yesterday because he was the one who bowled in a very economical manner. If you look at the Indian bowlers, it was all about Krunal Pandya and Khalil Ahmed. Khalil Ahmed was on the money, and Krunal Pandya was simply superb. He not only kept the runs to a minimum, and as I said, it was a joint effort. Krunal Pandya and Khalil Ahmed, the left-arm seamer, doing a wonderful job for India. Williamson was LBW for Krunal Pandya for 20 of 17, 3 fours. Munro was out to Pandya for 12 of as many balls with 1-6. Now, Daryl Mitchell was a sort of a controversial decision. It was Krunal Pandya who got his wicket. Just talking about this dismissal of Daryl Mitchell, he was given out, he reviewed it, and the DRS came back by saying that the ball had hit the middle stump when it definitely showed there was an inside edge onto the bat, and definitely this was something which probably surprised not only Mitchell but also Kane Williamson, the captain, and they had to go and speak to the umpire, and basically as Mitchell was walking, Dhoni was having a word with Williamson. Rohit was a bit confused, but it was all over. Probably if Rohit Sharma could have called him back, but that never happened. One does not know, but that was it. And it was Mitchell on his way, and this was sort of a controversial decision, one could say. After that, it was Taylor who contributed 42 of 36, but Colin Granholm was the man who played in a grand manner to give. After a lot of wickets were lost, they were really struggling at that stage at 50 for 4 when Williamson was gone, and it was only thanks to some pyrotechnics coming in from Colin Granholm who slammed the ball hard and high. He made 50 of 28 deliveries, which included 1-4 and 4 sixes. Santor 7, Kuglan was not out in 2, Saudi 3. 158 for 8 of 20 overs. Definitely on this small ground, one thought that was not really enough. There was not a power score on this particular ground. But look at the Indian bowling card. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, 4 overs, 1 for 29. Khalil Ahmed looked much improved. 4 overs, no maiden, 2 for 27. He's learning quickly. Hardik Pandya, 4 overs, 1 for 36. But Krunal Pandya was the man of the match with his bowling exploits. 4 overs, no maiden, 3 for 28. He also picked up some good catches as well. Yuzvendra Chahal, 4 overs, none for Krunal Pandya. Yes, Krunal Pandya did not pick up any catch, sorry. And Yuzvendra Chahal, 4 overs, none for 37. India was given a target of 159 runs to win from 20 overs. It was all about the start that India needed, and finally it came. Rohit Sharma came good today with 50 of 29 deliveries, which included 4 sixes and 3 fours, which was pretty good to see. And Shikhar Dhawan, 30 of 31 deliveries, 2 fours, really gave the attacking option to the captain Rohit Sharma, and in 9.2 overs India were well on their way. They had put on 79 runs for the first wicket. After that, Rishabh Pant was promoted to 1 drop today, and he made it count. Vijay Shankar today, he made 14 of 8 balls with 1-4 and 1-6, and then the experienced pair, the experienced captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni on one end, the past experienced captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni on one hand, with the youngster definitely learning a lot from this very great person Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Rishabh Pant definitely showed how he can hit the ball very hard, as he was the one who hit the winning run, and India had absolutely no qualms It was a 7-wicket victory secured by India. Rishabh Pant was not out on 40 of 28 deliveries, which included 4 fours and 1 6. Dhoni was not on 20 of 17 deliveries, 1 4. Game over. India winning the second T20 by 7 wickets to avenge the T20 first defeat that they had in the T20. And now the focus shifts to the final T20, which will be coming up next week, and I'm sure it should be a real humdinger. Tim Southee, 4 overs none for 34. Kuglan once again continued to struggle. He struggled in the first T20 as well, and even the second T20, Kuglan has not had his bearings at all. 3.5 overs, no maidens, none for 32. Ferguson, I thought, bowled well, 4 overs 1 for 37. Mitchell Santner, 2 overs, none for 16. East Sodhi, 4 overs, 1 for 31, did his job. Mitchell, 1 over, 1 for 15. So that is the match situation. Krunal Pandya was declared man of the match, and India leveled the T20 series with the final one yet to come. And what a match that is going to be. Right. So now we talk about the Bangladesh Premier League, as the Bangladesh Premier League finals today was decided when Comillia Victorians took their second Bangladesh Premier League title when they beat the favourites Dhaka Dynamites in the finals, and as I said, the star performer for Comillia Victorians was none other than the wonderful opener from Bangladesh, Tamim Iqbal. What a knock from Tamim Iqbal. I mean, looking at the card there, Comillia Victorians made 199 for 3, the lion's share going to Tamim Iqbal, as Tamim Iqbal was not out on a princely 141 of just 61 deliveries, which included 10 fours and 11 sixes. And let me tell you, he played everything. He played the strokes down the ground, his cuts, his pulls, his drives, and it was a treat to watch Tamim Iqbal wade into the Dhaka Dynamites bowling, and for him it did not make a difference whether it was spin that he was playing, whether it was pace that he was playing. Every bowler suffered from the blade of Tamim Iqbal's bat. Look at the bowling figures. Andre Russell, 4 overs none for 37. Rubel Hussain, 4 overs 1 for 48. He spanked everyone. Andre Russell, Rubel Hussain, Shakib Al Hasan. Only Sunil Nareen had a handle on Tamim Iqbal. 4 overs none for 18. Shakib Al Hasan, 4 overs 145. Qazi, 2 overs none for 19. Shogat Ahum, 1 over for 14. Mahmood Al Hussain, 1 over for 12 runs. Look at the innings of Tamim Iqbal. It was a really, as I said, it was a stark knock in the final, as Tamim Iqbal was not on 141 of 61 deliveries, which included 10 fours and 11 sixes. Evan Lewis was dismissed cheaply for just 6 runs by Rubel Hussain, and Anamul Haq made 24 of 30 with 2 fours. Shamsur Rahman was run out for naught. Imrul Case gave company to Tamim Iqbal, then not out on 17 of 21 1 6, as Comillia Victorians made 199 for 3 of 20 overs. As I said, Tamim Iqbal was the one who had taken the cake in that score of 199. His share was 141. That really tells you how powerful Tamim Iqbal's batting was. Dhaka Dynamites were given a target of 200 to win the match, and there were only 2 players who really got going. One was Upul Taranga, who made 48 of 27, 4 fours and 3 sixes at the top of the order. Ronnie Talukdar had a hard hit 66 of 38 deliveries, 6 fours and 4 sixes, and he was run out. And Sunil Nareen was out for naught. He was run out for naught. And Shakib Al Hasan made 3. Kieron Pollard 13. So that was the power which really did not materialize for the Dhaka Dynamites, who were definitely favourites to win the title. Kieron Pollard out for 13, Andre Russell for 4, Nurul Hassan for 18 of 15, Shogat Ahum, Dak, Mahmood Al Hussain, and Rubel Hussain and Qazi Yunik. 182 for 9 was the final tally, and in the end it was the Comillia Victorians who truly deserved this victory after that whirlwind knock from Tamim Iqbal in the finals. What a timely knock from Tamim Iqbal, who took the Man of the Match award. Victoria The Comillia Victorians taking the Bangladesh Premier League title for the second time in the history. And looking at the bowling from the Comillia Victorians bowlers, Saifuddin had 2 for 38. Mehdi Hassan was costly, 2 overs, none for 30. Wahab Riaz bowled excellently, 4 overs, no mid and 3 for 28. 1 over for 10 runs, Sanjeet Saha. Shahid Afridi, 4 overs, none for 37. And Tisra Pereira, 4 overs, 2 for 35. What a win. Congratulations to the Comillia Victorians team. And especially, as I said, Tamim Iqbal's innings was full of fire and brimstone. So now we look at the Big Bash League. And the Big Bash League, we are looking at a match that was played between Brisbane Heat and it was the other team which I will be talking about. It was Brisbane Heat who were taking on the Brisbane Heat were, and the reason I'm talking about Brisbane Heat is that the Brisbane Heat batsman Ben Cutting and the young dasher Max Bryant opened the innings, and they totally thrashed the Melbourne Stars bowlers. So Melbourne Stars were the one who batted first, got 156 for 8 on the board of their 20 overs in the Big Bash League. And looking at the card there, Marcus Stoinis opened the innings, played a good innings of 81 of just 51 deliveries, which included 7 fours and 2 sixes. Other than that, Ben Dunk was out for 14, Hanscom 1, Maxwell 5, Madinson 12, Gotch 11, Bravo 21 of 16, 1 4 and 1 6. And that was the score line, 156 for 8 of their 20 overs. The bowling, Matt Renshaw, 2 overs, 1 for 21. Lalor, the leg spinner, Lalor, the pace bowler, bowled 4 overs, no mid and 3 for 43. Josh Lalor, who has been having a good Big Bash League, one reckons. Kuneman, 4 overs, none for 30. Prestwich, 4 overs, 1 for 20. 3 overs for none for 19 for Ben Cutting. Mitchell Sweepson, 3 overs, none for 22. Now 158 to win. Who would have expected that Brisbane Heat would have got a 10-wicket victory with 10 overs to spare? And this was spanking stuff, according to me, as Max Bryant, especially Ben Cutting and Max Bryant both tore into the Melbourne Stars bowlers to put their attack to absolute dust, as Max Bryant finished with an unbeaten 71 of just 30 deliveries, which included 6 fours and 5 sixes. Ben Cutting was not out on 81 of just 30 deliveries, 4 fours and 8 sixes. Both the batsmen facing 30 deliveries apiece and collecting unbeaten 71 and 81 respectively. 158 for no loss, and that was the end of the match with a 10-wicket victory with 10 overs to spare. That was absolutely spanking stuff from the Brisbane Heat batsmen Max Bryant and Ben Cutting. The bowling did not make any happy reading. Worrell, 2 overs, none for 22. Jackson Bird bowled a solitary over which disappeared for 16. Zampa, 2 overs, cost him 31. Stoinis, 1 over, went for 24. Maxwell bowled an over for 22. Lamichani, the leg spinner, was taken for 28 of his 2 overs. Bravo, 1 over, none for 15. And Ben Cutting was declared man of the match. What a match we had here. Brisbane Heat, I thought it was absolute entertainment at the Gabba in Brisbane today when these two batsmen rattled off and it was a game which normally one talks about a start getting to a flyer. They said that they got off to a flying start. I would say they were just flying, kept flying, and finally they've flown. They really did a great job there. A 10-wicket victory, a thoroughly entertaining game at that for the spectators. Just before I go here, let me briefly touch on the very brief preview of the West Indies versus England, the final test match which is coming up, which is very important to both the teams. For West Indies to go and do a clean sweep, they are crippled with Jason Holder, the captain, who is sitting out this match because of the suspension due to the slow override by the ICC. And also I have to say that Jason Holder not being in the team really cripples the team to a great extent. Well, all that I can say is that England have to salvage some lost prestige. If they can go and get a win under their belt, there'll be nothing like that. But definitely looking at the current form these West Indian players are in, I have to say it looks next to impossible for England to put it across the West Indians. And one really is waiting to see what really comes up in the final test match between West Indies and England. Well, dear fans and subscribers, you can always catch up with me on Twitter. As I said, what all I could not cover, I'll be tweeting on cricket. My cricket tweets would take care of that. Well, but really, it was a pleasure coming back on this. I won't call it a daily cricket show. As I said, I'm not living up to the title of daily cricket show now. So I'm just going to wind up this cricket show right now by bidding you all a very good night. Thank you.